Hello, Pahrump. This is Dr. Christensen and Lazedog, an old patient of mine, a friend, a confidant.
You called me old?
No, I said an old friend. We've been friends a long time.
Oh, but you referred to me as old.
Well, all you got to do is look in the camera. You can see that's the truth. I brought him on tonight because the last time we had him on, I don't think that we got a full explanation about his charity and what he's doing in the community.
Let's get down to the bottom line. The reason you had me on, I'm the poster boy for your organization. I'm the fundraiser. I am the proof that what you do works.
You know, I have to admit that you could be.
Yes.
You could be, but poster boy?
On January 8th.
You look like one of Jerry's kids.
Jerry's kids, huh? On January 8th of 2015, I came into your place of business and I was leaned over and limping along. I looked like Quasimodo, didn't I?
Yeah, you were dragging your hind leg.
And I was in dire straits. I had done the medical thing. I had the muscle relaxers, I had the pain pills, and none of it was doing any good. And my wife, bless her soul, was a firm believer in chiropractic. Mm-hmm. And they kept her going for years periodically. And so I thought, well, let me see, what I'm doing's not working. So I came over there, and the first thing you told me when you looked at the x-ray was that you only had one word for my back. And I said, what is that word? And you said, disaster.
Yeah, it was a mess.
So I explained to you why it was what it was, and you commenced to working on it. Well, I would leave your office walking good and feeling good, and sometimes before I got home, I would be in trouble. Sometimes it would be the next day. Mm-hmm. And you tried every trick you had. And we went for months that way. And I would get better for 2-3 weeks and worse and better. And finally one day, your son was visiting with you.
Yeah.
And that was a Thursday afternoon, my regular appointment, and you asked your son to throw me up on the table and work on my back. Now, folks, his son is a massage therapist. He's also big. I got to tell you, he's strong. If he has you face down on the table and he wants to tickle your belly button, he has no problem doing it from your back. I mean, that's how strong he is.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
And so anyway, he worked me over that Thursday afternoon pretty violently, actually. And the interesting thing was I came in on Monday afternoon and I told the doc, I have not had one pain since I left here Thursday, because what he had done, putting all of those muscles back to where they were supposed to be, allowed the bones to stay where you put them.
Yep.
So that was the missing link and I think the following week is when Elisa came to work for you.
Yeah, Elisa.
And what does she weigh, 120 pounds?
Soaking wet, maybe.
And she can put 600 pounds on a muscle that big.
Yeah.
I recall exactly how that felt, because those muscles, folks, are sucked up into a knot.
Yeah, trigger
basically.
points. Yeah, they're called trigger points.
And so the doc would put all the bones in place where they were supposed to be, but then as I'm walking, bending, and doing what, all of these muscles that are not doing what they're supposed to do, they're pulling the spine willy-nilly like this. So next thing you know, I'm back with pinched nerves and pain. And it took her about, I think it was about a month.
Yeah.
Of I was coming in twice a week, and it was about a month, and initially very painful, but then better and better and better. And after about a month, it was no longer painful, and the bones stayed where they were supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're more than 2 years down the line, and my landing gear is straight most of the time. Huh?
Yeah, I don't see you very often anymore.
Yeah.
I don't see you very, and when I do, you really are not in that bad a shape.
When I'm coming in every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on kind of how I'm feeling, and once every 2 or 3 weeks, and I go through the standard process. And thankfully, I don't have to go on the rack anymore.
Yeah, we're not putting you in the traction and pulling the spine because you're holding, your adjustment's holding.
Yeah. Well, and you got me as tall as you wanted me to be.
Yeah.
I started out, I was 4'8", now I'm 5'8".
Now you're spinning a yarn.
But anyway, so I could be the poster boy for this guy. I do have to tell you that it is awfully nice to be able to get out of bed without pain and work through a normal day and not have pain and be able to walk and bend and do all of the things that we think we should be able to do. And that's pretty nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. You know.
Well, that service you provide is exceptional. No two ways about it. It is exceptional, and I don't mind singing the praises of something that works that well.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, you earned it, even though I don't want to admit it.
Chuck.
Chuck, how you doing?
Me?
Who is Dr. Christensen there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm feeling great, Chuck. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, Lazedog's dominating the conversation, so I thought I'd butt in.
I'm so glad you did. Yeah. He's got my head so swollen it's not funny, Chuck.
I know. Hey, I got a question for you. My buddy had a hernia, and he's very reluctantly contemplating getting some mesh surgically put in to hold it in.
Yes.
Do you have any alternatives?
Well, it depends on how bad that hernia is. You know, there comes a point in time where, and if you understand what they do is that as they open you up, they lay that mesh in with the muscle so that the muscles and the fibers grow into that mesh and seal up the hole in the mesentery. You know, if you watch enough television, you see that there's lawsuits against it, but there's lawsuits against everything anymore. Listen, if surgery is indicated and he's tried everything else, then I say go get it fixed, let it heal, and go on as far as it goes. Don't put it off because it could end up being kind of dangerous.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to check with you first. It's not a real bad one, but the doctor down at the VA told him the same thing you did. Don't mess with it, get it fixed up.
Yeah, it won't go away. Once you herniate and tear the mesentery, I mean, it won't heal on its own because you're moving too much. Your interthecal pressure, which is the pressure on the inside of the cavity when you cough or you sneeze or you pick something up, is pushing that bowel into that hole. So go get it fixed. Go get it fixed.
Okay, thanks, Doc. And I apologize for taking the flagman spot, but I just talked to him about 10 minutes ago, so I guess someone else called him.
Yeah.
So I'll get off or else he'll chew me out.
Yeah. Thanks,
okay,
Chuck.
Thanks.
You got the flagman spot up.
Yeah.
That mesh, there's been a lot of pros and cons on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, the old way, they'd just go in and sew it shut. But with the mesh, you know, they lay it in, and then they let it heal, and then the muscle and the stuff around it grows into the mesh. The only time that there's a problem is if you get too rambunctious too early.
Don't let it heal.
You gotta let it heal. You gotta let that stuff heal. And it depends on how bad the hernia is. Some of these guys have had a hernia for years, and you know they use a pressure.
My
plate.
dad used to.
You know, that's what they used to use.
He used a belt with 2 pads on it. And that's I guess that's just the way it was done back in the 40s and 50s and probably later. I don't know. I didn't hear of anybody going into hospital and getting one fixed. They just got one of those belts.
They'd usually get a belt with a pad in it and put it up against it. That's how they'd take care of it.
And it was kind of a spring-loaded belt to where it put pressure on it. And my dad was an extremely hard worker, and it didn't slow him down a bit.
No. Listen, we're going to break right now, guys. Pick up the phone, give us a call. I am going to let Lazedog loose here for the next segment to talk about his charity. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you.